What's an LED? So an LED, as we've been through previously, it's a light emitting diode. It is a DC product. It has basically, the original LEDs looked very similar to this, where they have an anode, a cathode, and they have our reflective material. They use heat to actually generate the light. Now these ones here, which are the old dual inline package ones, they were there as more indicators than actually light sources. Okay, they'd provide a great indicator lamp or something like that. They were used in cars and dashboards. We actually used them in switchboards that we used to build switchboards. These were great indicator lights because they saved a lot of space. We only had to have one DC driver inside because they're low wattage. So LEDs are basically a diode that emits light instead of a diode that just stops the flow of current. What does it look like? Like I said before, they're all DC. Okay, basically we've got an anode and a cathode, a positive or a negative. So your anode is always your positive and your cathode is always your negative. Okay, when you look at the old style of indicator devices, the long leg is always the anode. The short leg is always the cathode, which is the negative. Okay, so when you look at your paperwork here, we've got a pretty cool diagram of what it's all about. All right, so if you have a look at that, you can see you've got your anode, your cathode. You've also then got your epoxy lens. You've got your semiconductor die. You've got your reflective cavity. You've got your wire bond, which creates the heat as well. You've got your anvil. So you've got your anvil and your post. The post comes off your anode and the anvil comes off your cathode. All right, now what happens is there's an air gap. So that air gap creates heat because it's like getting two wires off a battery on your car and touching them together, you create a spark. That spark creates heat and the heat actually heats up the reflective material and there you go. The epoxy on the top actually dictates the color, okay, or enhances the color because the semiconductor die is actually a die that is as close as practical as they can get the die, but the actual cover strengthens that color. All right, there's a various range. They come in small, squat, rectangular, square. They've got three. You've got some of the old style LEDs that actually have three legs, whereas these only have two. The three legs it would be green for go, and it would be red for failed, or yellow for machine stopped. Okay, so it's a dual indicator.